Welcome to Art Wars Season 3 Heaven vs Hell. This season we have 9 brand new artists from 6 different countries ready to compete in all new challenges. This season is filled with bigger twists and the most amazing guest judges yet. It's time for the battle to begin in Season 3 of Art Wars. Coming up on today's episode of Art Wars, 9 brand new artists have started their journey to become the Art Master. Rules have already been broken and 3 new twists have changed the game forever. Make sure to stay tuned as Art Wars continues. Welcome back to Art Wars. It's time for Season 3 to begin, and it feels like Season 2 just started the other day. Never mind, Season 1 basically started literally just... I can't believe we're here already. But let me tell you, this season has so far blown my mind from what I've already seen. I'm filming this at the end of episode 1, so we've done it, but I'm filming it now, but it's really confusing. But I know what's happened this episode, you guys don't, but trust me, you're going to want to stick around. So, it's a brand new season. That means that 9 brand new artists have come to join us this season. If you haven't checked out the Meet the Artist video, make sure to go do that first. But, here's a little recap of the cast. Ayana, Beazle Lemon, Brummy, Candy Me Like, Captain Cute, Iaminas, Potatiana, Sour Lemon, and Spineless. So, that is the brand new Art Wars Season 3 cast. I'm very excited, as I personally think this is one of the best casts we've ever had. Probably the best, because one, such an even playing field. Everyone's skill, I would say, is on the same level. Everyone is incredible this season. Number 2, they're all lovely people. So that's the cast, and if you haven't watched episode 0, which you should so do, you won't really know what's going on. This season is Heaven vs Hell, which means we've got some brand new twists, which are the judging circle is back, but with the head of the judging circle, Kalina from Season 2, the winner of Season 2, is the head of the judging circle. So the judging circle gives their scores, we find the average, but add on another 10 points from the head of the judging circle, who gives 10, we add the 2 together, that is the final score. So it's out of 20 points each episode, unless we have a guest judge or special guest. They will then give it another score and it'll be out of 30. Today we have no guest judge, but we do have an incredible challenge and the first elimination of the series. So let's get straight on to the first main challenge of the season. So, this episode's main challenge is to draw your culture. Basically, we want to see your background, where you're from, and just to show you off. Like, we want to celebrate the fact Art Wars is a global competition. This season, we're lucky enough to have, I think it's 6 countries competing. Smaller number, but 2 new ones, I believe. We've got Indonesia and Dominican Republic joining the Art Wars family. Yes, only 2. So I'm very excited for that, and I wanted to celebrate that this time around. So let's move straight on to the art, and then the first rankings and judging circle feedback of the series. It's time for the rankings. Welcome to the first rankings of the season. So before we get started, we need to clarify a few things. As it's Heaven and Hell, if you haven't watched episode 0, please do, because this really won't make much sense. It is a Hell week elimination, and next will be Heaven, and then Hell, and then Heaven, and so on. And that means the bottom person from Team Hell is up for elimination this week, alongside who the winner picks for elimination. So let's just get started. So I'm going to start by saying who is safe, so just the middle of the range, and then we'll talk about who is in the bottom 3, and then we'll talk about the top 3. The top 3 and the bottom 3 have critiques, as we can't fit all 9 in, otherwise it's just such a long episode, and I don't think they do well. So I can reveal that Brummy, Beezelemon and Spineless are all safe from this week's elimination in 4th, 6th and 5th. That does mean Ayana, Potatiana, Sour Lemon, Captain Q, Iamines and Candy Me Like represent the top and the bottoms of the week. Now we will be moving on to some critiques of the top and the bottoms of the week. So let's get started with that. First up is Candy Me Like, and this is incredible drawing from Candy Me Like, showing their Indian culture and giving it a little hell twist, which they didn't have to do, but they chose to, and I personally am in love. And the judging circle said it is gorgeous. The colours they used and the idea is so creative and beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. The outfit and the hair are done so well, and the wings are very pretty. It's obviously done by a very talented person. I love the colours and all the details it has, especially the little shine and sparkles all over her hair, wings and clothes. Also, the sword looks super cool. So, pretty much all positive feedback. And this is probably one of the strongest drawings we've seen on the first episode of any Art Wars series. So, incredible job, Candy Me Like. Next up is Potatiana with their Brazil culture. Let's hear what the judging circle had to say. It's a very pretty cultural drawing. The dress is very pretty and the shading is very well done. I love how you can recognise their style in an instant. The background could have been a tiny bit darker, or maybe a more opaque shadow could have been added because something feels slightly off there. The pose is very nice as well, and I love how it helps show off the gorgeous dress. So, for Potatiana, great feedback. Slight bit with the background, but otherwise, as you can see, if you've just watched the video, if you haven't been paying attention, then go back and you can see how they slowly build up those shadows. And personally, I love it, and we've never seen something like this on Art Wars because there's such a structure and shape to their style. It's just like, I would say, Raindrop from Season 2. You look at their art, you can tell who's done it. Do you know what I mean? But Potatiana, incredible. Absolutely amazing. So, let's move on to the next artist. Next up is Inez. This is the name. There's always a name on a season of Art Wars I can't pronounce, and it's probably this is it. I'm gonna go with Inez because it's spelled with an E, but I'm not sure. Very sorry. So let's move on from that and talk about what the judging circle said about their Italian culture drawing. It's a nice artwork, and I really like the art style of the artist since the colours are very nice and soft, and so are the shapes. The colours of the flag look very nice. The problem lies with the theme of the challenge. I'm confused of what the character is supposed to represent, and I think there could have been more of a representation of the Italian culture than a dominant white space. Maybe an olive crown and a little pizza drawn in the white. Not sure what the thing is on the right side. It all seems very empty for a country full of colour. I completely agree. It's a lovely artwork, but to do with the challenge, you don't get Italy from it. You don't get that Italian culture. And I know Inez, this is their original character / OC, I'm pretty sure. But they were on Art Wars Pride. They did Inez for most of that. I want to see something different, you know? I think the judging circle do too. And for the challenge, I think it was a bit of a mistake, maybe. Because it doesn't really represent, you know, Italy. Moving on to the next artist. So it is time for Sour Lemon, who is one of the other artists that has provided a little video for everyone. But here's what the judging circle said. A solid drawing, would like to see more shading, especially in the skirt, to see really the movement of the skirt. I really like the pose and the expression of the character has, but I do think the background could have used some help, and I would have liked to see more details in the clothes. Completely agree. It's just, for Art Wars 3, a bit lackluster. I don't really get the culture. It's an okay drawing, it just, compared to everyone else, it's just a bit lackluster. But as a whole, it's a great drawing. But for the challenge, and compared to everyone else's, meh. Anyway, next drawing. Next up we have Ayana, and here is what the judging circle said. I love this drawing, the pose, the clothes, and everything about it. Also, I like the light colours used as it gives it that soft feel. And I loved how it showed the different side of Texas you don't really get to see. And I loved the style, reminding me of a classic Disney film like Cinderella. The Disney comment, when I saw that, I was like, who's read my mind? Their style has that like classic Disney feel, and again with the challenge, you don't see this side of Texas that much, because when I think of Texas, I think of the all pew pew cowboy kind of side of it, but there is this whole different like kind of, I don't really know what you would call it. I'm from a small town in England. This to me is just fresh. I love it. Anyway, moving on to the next artist. Last but not least is Captain Q. So, let's hear what the judging circle had to say. I really like the vibrant colours and the two characters are very pretty, but the drawing seems a little messy, with the arms crossed seeming off and the waist of the girl on the left seems very strange. I completely agree with that. I know that it's their style and they have these really curvy cool shapes, but the waist of the girl on the left looks a bit strange, as in the girl on like with the arms with that cross, those fish nets. It just confuses it quite a bit. So the drawing, I think, is the problem more of the actual skill. But overall, as a whole, it looks good. But when you start looking into it a bit more, is when you see those imperfections and strange things. That's basically what the judging circle said. Before we move on to the final rankings and the elimination and all that good stuff, I do want to mention Spineless for 2 minutes. As you can see, their drawing doesn't really fit in with the theme of culture, and that is because they had some personal family issues and troubles, and in my eyes, family is more important than the show. So what I said, because they didn't want to drop out and I didn't want to see them go either because of it, is hand in a piece of artwork that best represents them and a reason for them to stay in the competition. But they would have -2 points from the challenge. So we did that, and we also asked the fellow contestants if they think that would be fair. They all said yes, and it was sent to the judging circle, and they placed 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they placed 6th, so I just wanted to note that, so people weren't like, that's not culture. But yeah, now moving on to the rankings. So, we can now finally reveal the winner of this episode. So, the first winner of the season, and the first becoming the god, is Candy Me Like. Candy Me Like, you are safe from this week's elimination, and becomes the first god of the season, which is one of the other twists introduced. Basically, next episode they're safe, next episode they get an advantage, and this episode they get to pick one person to go into elimination, and that can be anyone. So once again, amazing job, Candy, on your first win of the series. Ayana and Potatoiana are 2nd and 3rd place. Amazing job. That leaves Ina's, Captain, and Sour. In 7th place is Captain. In 8th place is Ina's, and in 9th place is Sour Lemon. And as it is a Hell Week elimination, that does mean I Am Ina's is up for elimination, as they are the worst artists on the Hell side this week. And Candy Me Like had to pick one person to join them in the elimination. And their reasoning for this, they wanted to play fair as they didn't already really know the artist that much. So they picked 9th place to go up for elimination, so Sour Lemon. That does mean Sour Lemon is going against Ina's in the first elimination of the series. Let's get straight on to the first elimination challenge. For the first elimination challenge of the season, it is Ina vs Sour Lemon. And the challenge is a classic 3-colour challenge. The rules are only 3 colours, black and white, that's it. Do whatever you like. We want to see you prove yourself to be in this competition week 1. So let's have a look at their art. Here are the 2 incredible drawings for this elimination challenge. Both have fought very hard to try and stay in the competition. On the left you have an incredible concept, but it's okay execution, and on the right, incredible drawing, but concept slightly basic. But the person going home in 9th place of Season 3 of Art Wars is Sour Lemon. Thank you so much for watching the first episode of Art Wars Season 3. If you liked the episode, which you clearly have because you've watched the whole thing, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and show some support, as it would really help out. I've been James Fudge, this is Art Wars. Check out all the artists, and goodbye.